Hello and welcome back to the Deskwarmers Podcast. My name is Matthew.
And I'm Ike.
Ike, how are you today?
As always, Matthew, just another happy day on the Deskwarmers Podcast. Get to talk about Japan, memories, all the good times,
All the good times.
Best times.
The best of times. I'm really happy, Ike, because one of my favorite Japanese artists, Kaneko Ayano, has just released another album. So I'm wearing the shirt today.
Is it a hit? Is it a hit?
To be seen. I haven't finished it, so maybe there are some really good songs at the end of the album. But so far, so good.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise,
Well,
yeah, Ike, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
You know, Matthew, we do have a guest today, actually, and it's our first. We have to have a first repeat guest.
No way. Who is it?
Do you know who it is?
I don't. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Wait, let me grab her.
Whoa! It's
Hello.
Sam. It's Sam again.
I'm back to annoy everyone.
No.
Welcome back.
No.
Love it. It's my role.
We're so happy to have you.
Yes. I've come
Oh,
back
Ike,
after a
I'm
long
glad you're happy to have her.
6 months.
Yeah, my fiance from Japan.
Soon to be waifu in 6 months.
Wow. How's that
Very
going? How's
exciting
that progressing?
Countdown. We haven't done much recently, but it's going.
But we preloaded everything. We did a lot early.
We did.
Yeah? What do you mean?
Yeah.
We were ahead of the game.
We booked a lot of vendors very quickly. We got a lot of the logistics pinned down. So we have our honeymoon in Japan, which we will talk about on a future episode.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
back for that.
Yeah, they have to come back because we have to do our, pre and post review of it. Like what we think is going to go down and what actually
We're
goes
going to
down.
take it vlogging while we're there.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, we have to do a little vlog.
Ooh, that'll be good content,
That'll go
guys.
So well.
Yeah.
Right?
Excited.
All to come
Pop
if
it
you
in.
continue watching the
You just
podcast.
got to wait another 7 months.
These viewers have so much ahead of them in store for them, and these listeners even more.
So many exciting things.
So what's the plan to talk about for today?
Oh, exciting stuff. So, what we're thinking, Matthew,
Yeah.
a proposal, if you will.
Okay.
We talk about some of the most fun and just random people that we met in Japan. So, we've
Funny interactions.
heard from our Discord that they want to know somewhat how to seem less like a foreigner or how to fit in more in their community. And so we're hoping to share just a good way to maybe meet Japanese people or just the interactions we ran across.
You picked the wrong person for this podcast episode.
Yeah.
I'm very shy.
That's
well,
okay.
I like
I'm sure
interacting with people.
everybody's a little shy. Come on, especially when you're moving to a new country, you barely speak the language.
Yeah, it can be hard, but
Yeah.
we got there. And even all of us, I think, had our fair share of maybe sometimes awkward, but usually fun,
Yeah.
Interactions.
Like telling someone
Encounters.
that I'm the best at speaking Japanese in the world.
Yeah. Ike's famous interaction with the electrician or internet guy.
Yeah. Nihongo
very-
de sekai de ichiban jouzu.
He was very confident, which is good.
Sekai. Oh, it was
It's good to be confident.
maybe a little too confident.
Maybe a
at
little
times,
too
but-
confident. I say there's an upper limit to confidence. I think. Well, where do we start with this? Previously, we've talked about the different community center type events that could be open to foreigners living in a community, specifically within our own Japanese classes that we participated in after work.
Yeah. We did have that experience. Another thing that we did is we actually rented out the local gymnasium every Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Sam didn't come that often, but
I came one time.
Are you talking about the
And
gym?
Very
the gym, yeah.
Oh my, okay. I'm
Rent
glad
is
we
a
started
big
with
word.
this.
get it out of the way.
I am glad we started with
I
this.
went one time.
You went once?
True.
Yeah. I just did my nails.
Uh-huh.
So it was a recipe for disaster. And every time the ball came at me, I just
You went to tennis another time
I
as
moved
well.
out of the way. Yeah, you weren't there.
Yeah. We did tennis sometimes, volleyball.
Yeah, we had a pretty
badminton
active group
once.
of
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to stay active, of course, in whatever you do. But one of the ways that our community of ALTs would like to hang out every week, and I think this is something that if you are an ALT, you should start doing because it's really good. It gets you involved in the community, is to go rent out your local gym or rent out a court, like to play tennis, to play basketball, or to play volleyball, which volleyball was our big thing. We would love to play volleyball.
Volleyball's hard to play.
For some people.
Volleyball. So as a quick,
The ball is hard and scary when it comes flying at your face. So you
little
just
bit,
get
yeah.
out of the way, and then you don't participate.
That's why you're on a team.
a quick. Yeah, you only have to do it sometimes, you know.
It's so scary.
But a quick caveat to my volleyball journey, I'll say, is my first experience with volleyball was Haikyuu, if you're familiar with the anime.
He's a weeb.
Yeah. Yeah, the kid can jump high, right? Hit the ball with his eyes closed. Pretty cool content. I thought Haikyuu was so cool. So when it is cool, right? When I did my study abroad in Japan, I joined my university's volleyball team. I had never played volleyball before. I wasn't a full-time member. I went maybe like once or twice a week, you know, so, but that was my first experience with volleyball. And then when we came to Japan and rented out this court, all of our friends, or a lot of them, we'd usually have upwards of like 10 or 12 people there. It was a lot. I feel like it was a pretty good number. Yeah. And so we would just go there, rent a court. It was like 300 yen or something, maybe 500 yen. I don't know. And we would play. But the cool thing is we met, or different people brought some like Japanese locals as well to these events. So for example, we had this one lovely married couple that worked at a 7-Eleven near us. And so they would come often and bring their little daughter. And she was so cute. She would like run around the court and like try to dodge the volleyballs, you know?
Yeah.
Is that how one of the other ALTs knew her?
Yes. Yeah. So they owned the
I don't know if you've
7-Eleven
named her,
as like a franchisee, and they worked there. And I would go into that 7-Eleven all the time, say, hi, what's up?
It was the closest one to the Leo Palace.
I always wondered how knew her.
Yeah.
I never knew how that started.
Yeah, random connections. I think
a lot.
she was actually that owner, that franchisee. She was also either a coach or like had previously been on the local high school's volleyball team.
She was good.
She was in high school, so she was good. She loved to play, and her husband liked to participate. Not very good. Extremely funny.
Oh my gosh, he would make like Mario sound effects and like just like the most random stuff, and he was awful. He was so bad at volleyball.
But he was so much fun to have on your team.
Yeah,
because he'd try so hard. It was awesome. And then their daughter would be running around the gym with her iPad, like watching English lessons and stuff like that. It was really good what they were trying to do.
They would try to speak like English with us as well and stuff.
That's
and
great.
like the other thing that I just remembered as well is actually some girls from my high school came like a few weeks. Like it was so random. I don't remember how or why they came. Some students, but I'm trying to remember who invited them. But
you?
No.
Maybe Quinn.
It was
no, I think it was our 7-Eleven girl.
I think it was the 7-Eleven
because
girl,
she was either an assistant coach for their volleyball team or had, like I said, had previously been on that team.
Some
when she
sort
was
of
in high
relation,
school.
yeah. But like any of those girls, they were really good on the volleyball team. Like we would want them on our team. But the coolest thing about that as well is it wasn't limited to our city. So we had people. We had like a group chat of a lot of different ALTs. And then people would come from like an hour drive away sometimes just for this like Thursday night session.
It's awesome.
And it was almost always volleyball. It was so fun.
Yeah. And this.
I wish I was good at volleyball. I can't do it.
You don't have to be good though.
I couldn't even hit the ball.
It was
I just ran away.
It was more about the socializing, Sam. Yeah. And like that's okay if you wanted to stay inside.
It was inside.
the volleyball was when we played volleyball.
You can't argue it was an outdoor activity because it was still inside.
Well, when we played soccer, or we played tennis.
I would have gone.
Did we
back.
play soccer?
We did play soccer for a little bit. Remember?
You're right. We played at the field, and
Yeah.
it was like dark.
Yes.
It
Really?
got so dark.
So dark.
I didn't know that.
I remember that.
Were there no lights?
No, there were no lights.
Or no one with your flashlight on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember taking a picture, and it had like the iPhone night mode, so it looked like it was so bright, but then it was like pitch black.
I had just gotten my
remember
360 camera, and I was like running around with it, and it was really cool.
Yeah,
I gotta share those
I
photos.
thought that was funny. Those photos were really cool though. Whenever you had them.
Yeah.
Whenever you used it.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of sports, we also went skiing twice, so that was fun.
Well, that's good. But let's keep this a little more
Yeah.
focused to the freaking community members, Ike. Okay?
Okay, we'll get back on track.
Not
No,
sports. Who
I
cares?
just wanted to say, like,
cares
before you
about
brought up anything else, like in the gymnasium, like we were not the only people there using the courts. Immediately next to us, we'd have like a badminton team from a local high school or
basketball
a youth karate class doing moves.
Yeah.
Or
in
yeah.
the funniest too is there's like a class match day at like a lot of schools.
Oh, class match.
And
yeah.
so my school has the class match.
Yeah.
It's usually volleyball, I think.
It's
I mean, maybe
dodgeball,
they do
things.
basketball. They do basketball as well. There's a few sports, maybe even soccer. And for the
Kick
class
base.
match coming up, yeah.
Sorry.
For the match though, all these kids take it so seriously and they were training. So one week I remember an entire like 2 classes of my high school were like playing volleyball beside us, like practicing basically
For the class
for their
match.
class match.
That's
yeah.
insane.
Wow.
They take it way
Yeah.
too seriously.
Serious.
Yeah.
But
Around.
it's
Like
hey, it's
same as
competitive.
sports day when they're practicing like flinging the flag around and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah.
that was crazy. Yeah.
And other than being on the courts, okay, at the community gym, there was also, of course, a traditional workout center, which some of us utilized, some of us opted for a more private gym scenario. Ike, I know you have many stories about the countless times you went to the gym.
I
mean the
mean,
2 times?
I was about to say, I think I went like 5 times total, and every time
what
was
I
a bad,
thought.
and every time was a bad experience. So
Yeah.
I've
you
told
don't
some
go.
of them, but basically I got scammed into a 6-month gym membership, and I got a free month free, and that was the scam because then I had to pay for 6 months in a row.
And you only went in the first free month.
I only
right?
went, like twice. No, I didn't even go once in the free month. I waited until
terrible.
it started billing my credit
Bethany
card
scammed him.
before I went.
Blame
Bethany
Bethany.
was convinced.
Yeah.
Bethany was trying to convince everyone to use the gym, and she was really. I remember she really tried to get me, and I was like, "No, I was like, I can't."
I was
I was like,
convinced.
"I won't go."
I went like a few times. It was
Just sad.
you had to
Sorry.
wear your mask on all the equipment. You couldn't whisper a breath or the
Yeah.
attendant would come running after you. Like
You can't do that.
like literally. And then one time I don't really work out, and I was doing the what do you even call
Bench
that?
press?
Yeah, that one. The bench
Wow.
press, and
The
I
bench
was
press.
using
Yeah.
the bench was rotated in the wrong direction.
Sure.
And some like Japanese guy came up to me and he was like, "You might want to like do that correctly or something."
You're doing that wrong. You'll probably injure
He was very
yourself.
chill about it, but
Yeah.
he got me to swap the bench around to the other direction.
Ike, you were
before-
definitely
Scolded for
just
making
doing
all
that wrong.
noise.
No, I was in my form. I'm sure I was probably gonna like hurt myself or
Yeah.
something.
Aren't you not supposed to do that by yourself? Bench
It's
press?
good to have a spotter if you're not sure.
This one though, this
you know.
one had the like auto propel thing. I think it was like the
Oh,
one
easy
that
mode.
would
You should've
lower
done
it down.
Squatting.
I don't know.
I like squats.
I don't even want to talk about working out. I hated the gym though.
My-
I would not say that was a good community
We should go
experience.
together.
You two should go together because it makes
Yeah, let's
sense.
do it.
Because you're always around each other and you can propel each other to be better. From my experience at the gym,
true.
I would go alone, and
Yeah.
I went to
Wait,
the
is this
free.
the same gym?
No, I went to the community gym. So what Ike was doing was a private 24-hour
It was
gym.
It was like a Gold's gym,
It was-
basically.
in which they have a lot of Gold's gyms in Japan, surprisingly. But just the basic community center gym in our town was a very funny place because, yeah, I mean, you go up at the same kiosk where you rent out the courts for the basketball court or the volleyball area. You would also sign up for a time at like a time slot at the community gym for like 1 or 2 hours or whatever. And it's really cheap, like very reasonable prices. But
I didn't know you did that.
I only did it a few times, and like it was just because I was doing cardio and it was too hot to run in the summer. So I got it in my head that I would use the treadmill, and I don't know. The environment was really weird. Like a lot of people doing their thing. I don't know this might
What's their thing?
I don't know. Like you got the weights guy, and he'd always be at the weights whenever I was there. You got the squat guy. He'd always be at like this squat thing whenever I was there.
That's not weird.
So
enough.
they're not like all rounders.
They're not all rounders.
But
I didn't see
weird?
them rotate. I mean, I rotated to a few different things. I did, treadmill.
The nice thing is everything's very clean because people like spray off the equipment after.
Well, okay, a community gym has equipment that's not very well, I shouldn't say not very good, but
no
just
spray?
Overused by everyone in the community who comes and uses it. So it's not the best equipment.
Buy new ones.
We didn't have to use masks or anything because this was a post-COVID thing that I was doing. You still had to be really quiet. And honestly, if your music was too loud in your earphones, they would still come over and tell you, hey, turn that down.
It's crazy.
I had my AirPods in, and I didn't even see this guy.
You're not even allowed to talk to other people because
No.
the few times Bethany and I went as well, we would get like shushed for like talking to each other.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That's just gyms and gym bros and people who are a little overly policing
Too single?
the kooky. Policing the kooky.
They're too single, is what you want to say.
Too single? No. Oh, I guess so.
I
was saying
they only have themselves.
Kooky police, the environment, the air, the atmosphere police.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, it happens.
That's the gym. It's just the gym.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
I would have been scared to go to a Japanese gym. I was scared to go to the Japanese hairstylist, so I never went.
Never?
Wait, you never win?
I cut my hair myself.
Really?
Because my hair is curly, and I don't know. I just never thought about it. But then when I thought about going, I was like, well, what if I don't know.
Dude, I loved my salon
I was
people.
worried about it.
We
so
would
I didn't really go.
Matthew and I went to the same place.
I know.
And it was usually like a community event because we would invite like 2 or 3 of our friends and we'd all go at the same time. But then there would only be one hairstylist that would cut the foreign hair most of the time.
It was the guy.
And so we would have to, it was the guy. And so we'd have to wait in line. So he'd cut one of our hair and then
Do you wait around for each other?
Yeah, you'd have to like wait basically.
Yeah.
No,
well, he had the best
done,
English.
Do you wait for your buddies?
Which wasn't very
I
much.
would leave. After one of us was done if I was done, I would leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
mean,
cut my
that's
hair
just
in
the
my
case.
bathroom.
I was not used to going to salons at all, like where they do the wash your hair and like stuff like that. So just going into it and doing that was kind of a first for me. Wait, you guys are laughing at me. I'm a barbershop guy. I'm a barbershop guy. I'm not a salon man.
You froze.
I
We
froze.
lost you for a second, Matthew.
Oh.
Yeah, and we couldn't hear anything.
Okay, I'll
You started with how much you like going there.
The salon.
Yeah.
How much I
Never
like
gone
going
to the
there?
salon.
Oh, no, I was just saying it was a new thing for me because I'm a barber person normally.
Oh, okay.
So not only just trying to figure out how to tell them the way in which I want my hair cut in Japanese, but also like being led over to the hair washing station. And I'm like, what are we doing? Did I sign up for this? That massage on my head feels
glad I
really
never
good.
went.
Can we keep doing this?
You would check off though. You'd be like cutto and wash or something. It was like
I never checked anything.
It was like the wash and cut.
I probably saved like $200 not going.
You probably
It wasn't that
did.
expensive. Maybe it was actually.
For women, it's more expensive.
It actually kind of
Yeah.
was expensive. But
You guys had to go more, but it's
for
more
me,
expensive
Matthew,
for us.
I really liked that place. And the coolest thing about it for me was the little apron vest thing that you wear when you're getting your hair cut.
Yeah.
There's hand holes that you stick through.
So you can use your
That
phone.
doesn't exist in America. You can just be on your phone.
Yeah.
They have little ear covers.
Ear covers? No.
If you're getting your hair bleached in Japan, they have little ear covers.
Oh,
Like
so
to prevent it from getting on you?
Yeah, so it doesn't, because it itches really bad.
that makes sense.
So they don't even do that for a haircut.
Yeah.
No.
That place did me such a service though,
Yeah.
because after Sam told me I needed to change my hairstyle.
I'd known Ike for like a month.
Oh my
and we were
gosh.
having like a dinner. And we were talking about haircuts. And everyone was like, we were talking about it. And I don't know how it came up. But basically what had started was Ike was like, yeah, like I think I should get a haircut. Like I was like, no. I was like, you need a haircut.
I needed
And
it.
it came off maybe a little harsh, but like it was just like my gut reaction. It was like, no, you.
I had the down.
I was like, you should go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Ike went the next day.
I went the next day, and then when I showed up at our group event that night, nobody knew who I was.
We had, because masks were still required everywhere. We had no idea. I remember seeing him, and I was like, who is this? And Ike was like, it's me, Ike. And I was like,
everyone was
we
like,
didn't
what?
know. He looked totally different because he went from Justin Bieber to that.
It was the
Like Justin Bieber when he
every
first
high
signed.
schooler right now, you know.
No, it was worse.
Actually, every high
But-
schooler right now does look like that again.
Yeah.
But it like flips out.
Yeah,
They
that's
call it the
same.
mushroom
That's not
top.
what yours was.
I had a mushroom top.
But yours was like went in.
What do you mean it went in?
It
It
didn't
stayed
flip
down.
out.
It stayed down.
Like it didn't
Oh,
flip out.
yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
The bottom stay out, but the wings. I had wings
Yeah, they
on
like
the
flipped
side.
out, but like every guy's hair they brushed it
Tsubasa.
to like flip out.
Yeah, see, I didn't put any effort, so I didn't do that.
Ike had that Kami no
You
Tsubasa.
look like you hadn't aged in 10 years.
Tsubasa.
Can you guys tell I'm
Yeah.
studying
Hair
very easy
wings.
Japanese?
Oh, are you?
With
That's
Chat
awesome.
GPT?
That
You
doesn't
have
count.
full blown conversations with
I
it.
do. Well, sometimes I've
Yeah.
not been doing it.
We
often.
should. Maybe we should do that before we go to Japan for our honeymoon.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Refresh.
It's really good for keeping you in practice, I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we got the gym, we got the salon. What other community outlets are we engaging in and engaging with Japanese people in our town?
You got
The
anything?
bar. Is that-
Oh,
Well, we
yeah.
talk about the bars a lot. Surprise, surprise.
Well, I mean, if you just.
We met a lot of characters in bars, though,
Of
even in
course.
our small city.
Of course.
Or
Yes.
you could just even say the people we met at places we frequented, like restaurants or
Sure.
like shops.
Sure. I
That
mean,
kind of stuff.
the differences between the people you meet late at night and the people you meet at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock getting dinner are very different. However,
I didn't like to talk to those people late at night. I was like, I'm not talking.
I don't blame you. People
But in
who
the
stay
middle
out,
of the day at like a shop, I
Sam-
was like, yeah.
Sam, the people who stay out till 2 a.m. are weird. Us included.
Yeah.
Us
Didn't
included.
happen that
I
much.
remembered a good story. I have
Yeah.
a good story from our time at Campanule, our favorite bar.
Yeah.
One day, our most famous, beloved bartender, Makoto-san, was missing. He was MIA for the night.
Where was he?
I don't know.
Doing
He
grandpa
wasn't there.
stuff.
I don't remember. We'll see if you
Being an
remember
I
OG
the
forget that
story or
man's
not.
a grandpa.
He was old. He had surgery and stuff too.
He's
but
not that old.
Anyway,
He's just an OG-san.
yeah, I mean, working that late, like he would not close until we left, which was sometimes like 3 or 4 a.m.
But we were never the last.
Sometimes.
Bro was unk.
Yeah.
We caught him sleeping there when we showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time we were going to Campanule down the street, and we see him across the street from us. We're like, "Oh, Makoto-san," and he's like, "Are you guys going to Campanule?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're going right now." He's like, "It's not open yet." We're like, "Oh, we can wait. It's okay. It's okay. Like, take your time." And we felt like we were inconveniencing him so much, but he was like sprinting. down
Oh,
the
we
street
like
to go
showed up
open.
not too far after
Yeah.
though. And he
Campanule.
was
No,
ready.
it was
And
was
then another,
yeah.
yeah.
I was just
Well,
gonna
no, I
say
was gonna say I feel like another time.
I was just
Sorry,
going to
Matthew.
say that we would often walk from your apartment building.
Yeah,
you
it
need
was
to
a meetup
fix
spot. Why are
um,
we?
We would often walk from your apartment building and then just get to the bar at the same time as he was showing up. So we'd have to walk down like 200 yards
With him.
or
Yeah.
however many meters.
Sam's
that is.
apartment was the closest, so we would
15
often
minutes
park our
away.
cars at her place and
Yeah.
then walk over. But
Anyway.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Just a real. what I kept interrupting Matthew to try to say. Well, we kept interrupting each other.
I interrupted you.
One time we went in early because someone forgot to pay a bill, or
sometimes we would walk out without paying, but then next time we would go, he would be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you owe me 1,000 yen," and then we would. One
of these times we went in a little bit early to make sure we did it. It didn't happen very often, rarely. And he was sleeping on the stools.
Yeah,
he had them all laid out.
He never left. Yeah, and it's like he never left, and we were like,
it was 8 p.m. or something.
And we walked in, and we were
7
surprised
p.m.
it was even open, but we were like, hello.
Well, the same thing happened to Quinn once as well. So Quinn showed up it was the opposite. It was very early in the morning, 7 a.m. in the morning, because he had forgotten his phone the previous night. And so he went to retrieve his phone, and he walks in, and not only is the door unlocked, but Makoto-san is in the bar, sleeping there, on a table. Apparently, he's sleeping on a table or whatever. And Quinn just walks in and grabs his phone and leaves.
That's
apparently.
so funny. I want to give the listeners a little more context as to what this bar is. So this bar is on the 7th floor of a rickety old building, probably from the early 80s. It's got a really scary elevator. And it would
and the buttons are decoys. The elevator buttons are decoys.
The amount of times I got smashed by the doors. We all got smashed by the doors.
We got smashed.
I remember distinctly one time I got really smashed.
You got smashed going to the bar.
And Makoto-san saw me getting smashed, and he was freaking out. It was everyone got really smashed at one point.
The doors.
They were evil.
He's had that bar since '93, and the age is there. I don't think it's been renovated at all, but it's very comfortable in that way. It's people
holes
writing on the wall,
covered by posters,
holes in the wall, a lot of knickknacks from people who've been there.
Ike and I gave something when we left. Something
true.
Hey,
so did I. It became a tradition. I don't know if you guys started it.
Because of us.
Well,
it was because of us.
Anyway, good views.
All right, back to my story, though.
Okay, Ike's story.
Makoto-san, the legend, was MIA one night.
Oh, I forgot.
He had a backup. He had a backup hire, okay?
Uh-huh.
He had this...
I don't remember.
He had this random woman,
I remember.
And we walk in, we're making conversation, whatever. She's speaking fluent English. I'm talking, okay, a phrase we would use in our friend group. Fluent as fuck. FAF.
Fluent AF. Yeah.
FAF.
Yeah.
She was so FAF. It was crazy. And I was like, where did you learn English? I'm like, who are you? Why are you in our small town?
Ike, who claims he's not an extrovert, always be doing these extroverted things, randomly talking to
Sometimes
people.
I would talk to random people. Only if I had a few drinks. Anyway, this random lady is like, oh, I learned English in China. And me, being the optimist I am, I'm like, great, that's so cool. I'm like, how did you learn Chinese? Or how did you learn English in China? That's crazy. And she went along with it, whatever. Yeah. And then towards the end of the night or something, we were maybe talking more in Japanese or whatever. At this time, I was really trying to study Japanese. And so we set up a tutoring session with her. I did.
Can I do a little caveat here?
Yeah.
I heard one time Ike was going out with somebody, and I was like a date? And I was so confused. And nobody knew. Because only Ike knew. And I thought Ike was going on dates with this woman. And then I heard how old she was, and I was like...
No, she was... So a little more context. She was an English teacher.
Yeah.
She was an English teacher in our town. I think she taught at a private school or something. So none of us worked with her. But she taught me a few Japanese lessons in preparation because I was studying for the N2. But it was it wasn't until the third time I met her that she brought back up the China story that I was like, oh yeah. And she was like, by the way, you didn't actually believe me, right? She's like, there's no way I learned English in China. What was I was just joking with you. And I was like, what? Because I literally thought she was being serious the whole time.
Could have fooled you.
I believed her.
So what was the real story? Just that
she just learned English. I don't know.
Yeah, she was really, really funny. She would always come up to the table to take our orders.
She made the strongest drinks.
She would always laugh with everybody and just be part of the joke, part of the conversation.
How many times did we actually see her? Because I don't
Maybe like
recall
3
this.
or 4.
Times?
It wasn't too many.
Oh, you guys,
Yeah.
you guys left a year early. Come on. She started coming
Yeah.
back a lot more.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, that's
Because this was a side job that
context
she
we
did.
needed.
This was a
Yeah.
side job outside of her English teaching. She would just like work at
was
bars.
like, I need an English speaker, please.
Honestly, yes. In the years following,
Yeah.
or the
She
year
was really
following,
cool, though.
there were. I mean, we continued to go there. She continued to see us, and we even noticed a few more English speakers in the bar that we had no idea who they were.
Yeah.
There's always a group of Southeast Asian farmers who do this program
Yeah.
to come and work in Japan and like learn farm techniques and like technical stuff, like with the big machinery and things like that. So it's a good way to make money, but also learn good industrial farming. A lot of people from Southeast Asia were there. So you get a lot of people who like know English, like from the Philippines or even Indonesia. And I met a fair amount of people who, not from the States, not from any countries except for the Philippines, who do the JET program, but were able to speak English. And like I had some great conversations with people from Southeast Asia that I really didn't expect to see at the bar.
We met a lot of random like people from like other countries.
Yeah.
I'm
At that
trying
one
to
spot.
remember
Yeah.
where I was, and she was like a college student, but she spoke English, but she was from like maybe the Philippines or something, but she was attending some college in the town we lived in, and it was very random. I'm like, oh, when I was taking N3, I think, I don't know if you were taking N3 as well, but I met her on the bus, and she was like, yeah, she's like, I live there too. And I was like, why? And where? What are you doing? And she was like, yeah, like I'm going to some college. I was just like, because if you weren't driving or whatever, finding the bus route to take the test was always kind of difficult, because it was located like on like the city's like university grounds, and it was kind of hard to find. So I heard people speaking English. I was like, do you know where to go? And I was like, what level are you taking? And like, are you supposed to go to this building? And they're like, yeah. I was like, can I follow you? And they're like, sure. And it was this girl, and she lived there, and I was like,
there always were a lot of like not Americans, just like other foreigners that were taking these like the JLPT.
Yeah.
Did I tell the story of when I got kidnapped going to the JLPT site?
Maybe.
not really, not kidnapped.
I basically got kidnapped willingly.
Can you use that word? Kidnapped.
So, I'll give the brief overview, I guess.
He willingly went along.
I showed up to my JLPT a day early. I thought it was on Saturday.
Real quick,
Yeah.
Ike sometimes is notorious for mixing up the date.
Yeah,
Either
I got the wrong
booking
flight
the wrong
another
day
time as well.
or showing up early.
That was
This is
Now
unfortunate.
he doesn't do that.
Common
He
issue.
learned after a few times.
Now I like quadra check,
Yeah.
Good.
But I showed up the day before. I'm eating my lunch at 7-Eleven, or like I got 7-Eleven, brought it to the campus because I'm a bit early. I'm just sitting around. I'm like, there's not really many people here,
And there's a lot.
and there's
of
not
people.
many signs either. And so I'm looking around and like very confused. And so it's then that I reopen my packet and realize that the day is Sunday, that I'm supposed to be there.
Dang.
What an awful day to do it.
And so I'm like, well, I'm in the city. I might as well try to do something. So I look on Google Maps and like searching the area, and there's like some little like pond shrine nearby or something. I'm like, cool. I start walking there. Maybe it's only like a 10-minute walk. Get there, walk around the shrine. It's whatever. I'm leaving. There's like a van. There's a van at the end, at the
way.
exit. No, it is a van. And these people get out and they're like, just start like talking to me. And I'm like,
In English?
in English. They were also from a Southeast Asian country. I can't remember where, but they were studying at Kumamoto University, and they were like, "Oh, we're about to go get lunch. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so I jump in their van, just
I
me.
didn't know you got in the van.
Yeah, I didn't have a car.
I thought you just like walked with them.
No, I got in their van. We drove like 15 minutes.
That is so scary.
And then got out. It was like some restaurant for like foreigners.
So you said it was really cool, I remember.
It was fine.
No.
It was fine.
Moral
It
of the
was fun.
story: always get in the
Don't
van.
do that.
Moral of the story is always say yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, man. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it.
This is how you get kicked.
A very interesting story, Ike. Did you know that after you guys left, the circus came to town?
What?
Your faces. Oh my gosh.
With, like
yeah.
animals or
Animals, acrobatics,
Like,
stuff like
acrobatic-
that.
That's so cool.
Did you go?
No, I did not go. However, I have it on good account because I didn't know. Okay? I did not know. I
Until
would have gone.
after?
What I did see though was the big top. You
Like
remember
in downtown?
No,
or
not in
Where
our
was
town.
it?
Not in our
No.
town. Nearby.
Oh.
Remember? I think it was like either Uto or Uki with the movie theater.
Uki.
And
Yeah, we had to drive. We had to go like 40 minutes to the movie theater.
in that parking lot
They didn't have one.
was just a big top
In the movie
circus.
theater parking lot.
It was the
So you saw
strangest
the
thing I ever
big
seen.
top?
I saw the big top, and then I saw trailers of like little housing for the acrobats and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's strange. What am I looking at? Since when
And
is?
you didn't go investigate?
No, I didn't go investigate. I was on my way to
Who are you?
my mountain town or my mountain school. Sometimes I would
School
go
was
that way.
okay.
Wow, that's
Okay,
far.
okay.
And
That's fine.
I would go way out of my way to go to that McDonald's. And I heard from Lucy, who was a jet after you guys left in our town. She went to the circus, and Lucy was like, yeah, there were like French acrobats who were just living in the parking
The
lot
Cirque du
next to the movie
Soleil?
theater. And apparently the circus was there for like 2 weeks. And I had no idea. And this was like a
is
circus
so
school where they learned how to do acrobatics like around
You
Japan.
should have gone.
I should have gone. It was
That's
like one of my
crazy.
biggest missed opportunities.
That's so cool. We should go to Cirque du Soleil.
I
Like
would
in
not do that.
America.
Why?
They're too French.
Isn't that the point?
Matthew, you're gonna have to edit this
Hey,
out.
one of
because
my
it's something
roommates
you
was
gotta
French,
follow.
okay? One of my roommates in college was French, I can say
So,
it.
did you hate him?
No, he was fine.
You hate French people?
No, you know what he would do? You know what he would do?
Matthew is racist.
No.
He hates French people.
You know what he would do is sometimes
This is payback, Matthew.
it would be like a dreary day at my college where I went to school. Be a dreary day. I'd get home from school and he would be sitting there, my French roommate, on the stoop of the
Watching circus.
no, not watching the circus, on the stoop of the window
Doing a
with
circus
the window
in the
open,
room.
smoking
Doing
a cigarette,
acrobatics.
Yeah.
watching the rain. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like,
fake.
"Yes, I just need to take the edge off." And I'm like, "Oh wow."
What's
Anyway.
the moral of this story, Matthew?
Moral of
So
the
you don't like
story
French
is
people?
French people are cool in their own right. However, I don't want to watch them do flips. Sorry.
I want to.
Okay. Anyway, what else? What other establishments did we frequent? Pivoting.
Not many.
I went to the same 3 restaurants every week. Just about.
I know you did.
There weren't that many good
I
ones
know you did.
in our place of living.
Number 1
I keep
was a
wanting to say the
ramen
name.
restaurant.
The best ramen in the place I cannot name.
It was so good. The ramen was very good. The lady there, the couple that owned it, were so nice.
This little Oba-san and Oji-san.
Yeah.
They were so...
And they
What
would always
ramen?
give me like
What are you talking about?
it was in
In
the
the mall.
Yume town.
in the mall.
mall,
Oh, I
Matthew.
never went.
Yeah.
You
It
never
was
went?
so good.
Matthew, the best ramen there.
And I would always sit at the
For
counter
real.
and she would talk to me.
She was
She
so
was
nice.
she was really cool. And when we left, because Sam and I went so often,
Where is it?
no, it's gonna take you forever to find. It's not worth it right now.
Did she give you something?
She gave us a gift. She gave us a
Okay.
gift. There was actually several of the different people we met from different restaurants gave
Yeah.
us stuff. The ramen people gave us these little cool ornaments.
It's in my box.
Yeah, that's you'll never find it.
She gave us this
But-
little rabbit couple getting married. She's like, if you guys ever get married, and we weren't engaged at the time, and she gave us this little matching rabbit couple.
Aw.
Yeah,
Just
she
this
was
little
like,
glass
you have to
thing.
send pictures
Yeah,
and
she's
stuff.
she's like, send me, because we have her line, and she was like, if
Yeah.
you guys get married, like, because she was like so confident we were, and lo and behold, here we are.
yeah.
So we'll have to remember her. We'll send her like wedding pictures.
But
She's not
she
invited
was
to the
awesome,
wedding?
and
she's not.
she's not invited to the wedding.
Sorry, we didn't know. I don't remember her name. Sakiko.
Wow.
That's
pulled that
crazy. That's crazy.
She got it.
She was amazed. She would always give me like a free egg and stuff.
Mm.
And then when my mom came with me, this was also before I started. She thought my mom was my girlfriend and just wouldn't stop.
Ike's
and
mom
it was
very young.
It was very embarrassing, but I was like, this is
Your
my
mom
mom.
loved it.
And then
She's like, wow, I'm so young.
at the time also my mom wasn't eating meat, and so she transferred all of the chashu in my mom's bowl into my bowl, and so then half of my bowl was just chashu.
Wait, did she grab it like that?
No,
that's not
it was
sanitary.
before I saw it. She transferred, and I've never been so full in my entire life.
But
after trying to eat that,
I was so nervous because I was like, this is my favorite ramen place in town. Like, I want to take you there because it's so good and she loves me. And I went and I was so nervous because she was like, is
She's
this,
so
like your
friendly.
girlfriend?
Yeah.
And then she like gave me, but every time we went, she'd give you like an extra egg or extra noodles or extra meat or something.
Yeah.
She'd give you like an
And she'd always
upgrade
like do a
for
little
free.
chat with you and
It
stuff.
was like $5 or whatever, but like, that's so nice.
Yeah. It was really nice.
And we took pictures with her when we left. We came and like saw her and her husband for like the last time because he made the ramen and everything, and
Yeah.
we took like a picture together. And she's like,
Cute.
it was so cute.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We
Love
didn't
that.
It
know
was
this
the
place
same
like
for
that,
the
too.
Italian restaurant too. It was owned by a
Yeah.
couple.
I love that
Little
place.
old couple.
Oh, that place was so good.
We're going back.
You
Yeah,
have to.
on our honeymoon, we want to go
We're
back.
going through that town.
Would you call them? Would you call them first?
I think I'm gonna send them a message on Instagram.
Ike has
they
some
have an
grand
Instagram?
plans for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta follow
That's
them.
how we found out if they're open or closed.
Oh,
That's how you gotta know.
Because
Really?
it wasn't accurate on
And
Google
a lot of
Maps.
those
I would
places
just call
don't have
them.
websites
I always
either.
would
A
call
lot
them.
of them don't have websites.
Wow.
It
That works too.
got me working on my Japanese a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then by then they
No,
knew
I'm
who I
impressed.
was. Which they
That
always
was
knew
like-
who you were, and then after you left, I started picking up your slack a little bit. I wouldn't go there every week, but I would go there like once a month, and then
Yeah.
they
I referred my entire school to there too because it was like right across from my school.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah,
I
close.
kept telling all my students and stuff to go.
no one knew
Like,
what it was.
Yeah.
Some of the
And
best-
I had several.
yeah. Best
Some of my
noodles I've ever
students
had.
would go.
Yeah.
It was the pasta jewel of Kumamoto.
You know what? We lost a few things.
What did you
but
lose?
Right down the street from me, we had this Korean fried chicken.
Oh
place.
my
It was a
gosh.
chain,
Yeah.
but they had like 4 locations. Literally, it was a little pricey. It was so good.
It was so good.
It was so good. And I would get like to go a lot from there, and I would call and they'd be like, they would know who I was
Yeah.
from my voice. They'd be like, oh, sama desu ne. And then they would like chat with
The
me.
sama.
And then finally, like the one time I was in there by myself and there was nobody else in there because it was raining, the lady was like, it was like this family that owned it or owned that franchise. And she was like, they were talking to me and asking me those questions. And so it was so cute because they would know me and by my name when I would come in, and they would give me like a free drink every time, like a little, like a Coca-Cola or something. It
See,
was so cute.
the one thing I wish I
But
did
then they
more
closed.
is like I was very excited when people would talk to me when I would go to restaurants or like
Yeah.
do whatever, but I would rarely try to like initiate with
Yeah.
other
Sure,
people.
sure.
That's hard.
And I think it's like hard because why am I just
Yeah.
going to go up to someone random, right, and like start
just-
talking?
yeah.
But
You need
like
an opening.
for me, I was, even though like they would usually ask the same questions, like where are you from, like what are you doing here, like I always
More
just
than
enjoyed,
happy
I always just
to answer.
enjoyed like
Yeah.
talking to
Yeah.
those people.
No,
though.
that's a good point. Sometimes I like to throw in like little jokes when I'm ordering. Like if
Yeah.
this happened once at the KFC,
KFC Japan's good.
one week I went there like twice, and then
tier.
like another the third time, right? And I got the same thing. I got that chicken sandwich with double chicken,
the double chicken.
the double chicken sandwich from KFC,
Oh,
and
it's a lot of chicken.
well,
Yeah.
the first time I went there, like I didn't know how to order. That was like one of my first fast food interactions in Japan. Couldn't do the drive-through. That was faceless
Oh, we
interaction
know.
is a
when
Deki
you can't
nai.
point at
That's
the
a
menu.
moody.
Yeah,
when you can't
you
point,
need the
that's a
picture
moody.
menu
So you
to
got to
be able
learn
to
that.
point
That's like
to.
next step. So I went in. First time, terrible. Like these 3 workers were like watching me try and order and kind of like laughing at me, what I felt. But I went back.
Rude.
I went back.
They weren't laughing at you.
They were laughing because it was kind of an interesting situation for them, and I understand that. To have a foreigner who doesn't really know how to do Japanese try and do that. But by the 3rd time, I got confident enough to throw like a little itsumo when ordering the chicken sandwich. Is like, as always, I'm going to have the chicken sandwich.
Itsumodori.
And they like that. Then they like that. And that establishes a
Yeah.
little rapport. Like, I'm a familiar face, but like I can be, fun interaction rather than like a bothersome or stressful interaction.
Yeah. When they hit you with the jozu.
Yes.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to response to the jozu?
Mara this.
Oh, Sam, you say
Yeah.
I just am like, no.
We know what Ike says.
I mean, besides the sekai de
yours?
ichiban jozu.
Sekai de
I
ichiban
would-
jozu.
But then
for
the
you.
worst part about that though, like not even just with
Your
the electrician the one time,
confidence
is like it just goes over their head. Like they don't find it a joke most of the
It's
time.
funny though.
I think they just like
There's
are
like, wow, this
oh.
kid is arrogant.
They're like, oh, okay, because like my accent isn't even that
They're
good,
just like,
and
yeah.
like I like won't even understand what they're gonna say next.
ichiban jozu.
There's a Hatsune Miku song, and those are the lyrics.
Really?
Yeah.
Hatsune Miku.
Or maybe it's like Sekai de Ichiban Tsukina. It's something similar.
Something similar.
Whatever.
But no, I enjoyed all those interactions. I feel like you got one.
No, I was just gonna say at my local. Was it the Lawson that was closest to me? Yeah, the Lawson.
Oh yeah, that
was
Lawson.
closest to me. There was the cutest little old
I
lady.
remember
Yes,
her.
And when
yes.
Ike and I would go in there together, she's like, is that your boyfriend? And I was like, yeah. And she was so cute and she was so nice. She was really nice to shop on.
To Sean, yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever
Can I
I would
mention
go
him?
in
Can I
there, she'd
mention
ask
him?
me if I knew Sean. And it's funny because like sometimes I would
Sean
go
knew
there a lot
everybody.
and then she would keep asking me, how's Sean? And I'm like, I saw you yesterday and I said the same thing.
Sean
but I'm
went
gonna
there
say the
every
same thing again.
day. I think Sean went every day
Yeah.
to that place.
Sean was
'Cause
really
that
tall.
we lived in the same apartment.
Uh-huh.
And he stood out, red
Yeah.
hair, motorcycle,
Cool guy.
Yeah.
stands out. More than me on my pink bicycle, but
You got red hair too.
I didn't go there that often. Yeah, but his is more red.
Oh, okay.
But she was so nice. And then I was trying to think
Mm-hmm.
of someone else that we had. And then there was like this little Japanese shop that sold a lot of like cool traditional Japanese things. I bought like my little winter, like it's not yukata, but it's like it has no sleeves and it's really thickly padded.
Oh.
And you wear it only inside. It's very warm.
Oh, yeah.
I said I look so dumb wearing it, by the way. He said that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
What a
I've never
supportive
seen you wear it.
fiance.
I'm like,
I did not say it like
he
that.
not only is.
Well,
You did.
No, what
You
did I
said-
compare it to? There was
You said it
something I
looked dumb.
compared it to.
You said I look dumb.
I'd have to see you wear it again.
Like
It
a-
is so
like
warm.
a
I think it was the
straitjacket.
color.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
it was. That's what it
But
was.
it looks Japanese and it's cool.
No,
Japanese
it looked like a
straitjacket.
straitjacket.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
But I bought that from there.
I have to
And the
bring
lady-
up. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
you were saying.
sure.
I'll let you finish.
I'll just finish up real quick. But I went there all the time and it was the same lady. And I would buy like Christmas gifts for my family from there. And she was like so impressed that I was sending it back to America. She's like, you're buying stuff from here and you're sending it to America? I was like, yeah. It's like for my family, for gifts. And she was like, it blew her mind. But she was very cute and she would say a lot of stuff I didn't understand, but it was fine.
What I was gonna
She's
say,
nice.
you had a traditional Japanese items shop that you would go to in our town. I also did, and forgive me if I'm repeating myself on this podcast, but I think if I did talk about this before, I didn't talk about it within the depth that I wanted to. Moritaka-san's knives. Okay, this
I haven't heard too much about it.
I don't know either.
You don't?
I
Oh
just know
my
you
gosh.
have a knife from there. We never went. I would have loved
That's
to.
crazy. So my first day in Japan, my first real day, like my predecessors taking me around to different places, we stopped by our nearby shrine to this town, and this knife shop that's right next to the shrine. Now, this knife shop has been there for, I kid you not, like 2,000 years. Maybe that's a little much. Maybe 600 years. I think it was like.
That's still really.
Let me hold on. It sounded weird when I said it. I think it was the 1200s or 1400s. So like 600 to 800 years ago. Still a long time.
That's
right?
crazy. Are the knives also from that old?
The knives are not that old. In fact, they're being produced even today, with the similar style and the same way that they did it, just a little more modernization, better steel.
Yeah.
Right. That
Blue steel?
the blue steel, the algami steel.
That would be paper, but
yeah.
it might be
Algami.
The name.
And it's like the best. It's the best knives that are made of the best things. And I went there once, and I did not go back for a year.
What?
A year later,
But you did.
I stumbled back into Moritaka's knife shop, and
Is that the name of the store, or is that just his name?
it's his name.
What's the name of the store?
I'm not gonna say. Moritaka's knife shop it's like the front side of it is run down, super old, like gardening equipment everywhere, like an old samurai sword as like a display model of like the weapons they used to make for the feudal lord in Kumamoto.
So, how did you know it was a knife store? I mean, I know someone would brought you there.
Yeah, someone
firsthand,
brought me.
But how would you know
Oh, it's like
if it just looks like a house?
it does look like a house, but you kind of had to know it was there. That the signage was a little small, but people in the community knew it was there because they take their farming equipment in to get sharpened. And I go in there, and I'm looking to buy a set of knives for my sister and her fiance for their wedding, and I do. And I the first time I go in there, I place the order, and I haven't paid anything yet, but I place the order, and it's for like 5 or 6 knives. All different. And we take 45 minutes. He's telling me all about it. He's giving me a tour of the forgery in the back. The guys are hammering down. Bum, bum, bum. He brings me back up front.
That
We're
is cool.
trying to negotiate.
I never knew this existed.
Exactly
There you go.
which knives to get. And by the time we do, I haven't paid anything, but I walk away from that shop with like 3 banpei yu, which are like these giant citrus,
That's where you got it?
and like a whole bag of
I think
tomatoes.
this was after.
And he's got this garden in the back, but he just gives me these local produce. And I'm like, oh, this is very nice. A week later, okay, he hasn't
You
even
didn't buy
started.
any knives?
I didn't purchase the knives. I ordered them. A week later, I realized I need to buy like
Wait,
one
are they
more.
like custom made or something?
They're custom
like
made.
after you order them?
Yes,
Is there nothing in the shop you can buy?
there is. You can buy things in the shop, but they're all kind of defective.
Oh.
So that's like his floor models, and you can get them for a little cheaper. So I go back in a week later
How
because
much
my
are
mom
each of
tells
these
me
knives?
you need to get another knife for me and like my friends. So I add a few more knives onto the order.
What I really want to see what one of
How
these
do you
look
bring
like.
these knives back to the States?
It's in your checked bag.
Hold on. I walk
You need to
out
clear them.
with another full bag of tomatoes, 3 more banpei yu, and like a bunch of cucumbers. Let's flash forward a few months. I finally get these knives. I pick up the whole knife set. I finally pay him. He takes me to his garden, and I am picking out, I want that one. I want that one. Oh, give me some of those peppers. Give me some of the banpei yu. Give me some of those citrus.
Wow.
And a good relationship was built. In fact,
Do you have
That's so cool.
any of these knives on hand?
they're downstairs, but
find it in
I
your
will show you
mother's
something
kitchen.
really quick that I do have immediately. Hold on.
Matthew always has stuff lying around his room. But
Matthew's room
that's
is
so
too
cool. Did we even
he
know?
has a fridge.
Did we even know that shop existed?
I think when Matthew was there, when we were there, I feel like he might have mentioned it.
I don't
Okay,
And
so
I was like,
two
that's
things.
really
hearing
cool,
about
but
it.
I never thought to
I feel
go.
like I would have wanted to go.
2 things. First,
Yeah.
is this switch knife thing?
Oh,
So
is that like to shave your face?
no, this I forget the history behind this specific knife. He didn't make this, but he did sharpen it, and he does sell it at his shop.
cool.
The engraving here, this knife is kind of like a historic knife. It's like from the 50s, 60s. A lot of Japanese men used to carry this, but I think they're outlawed, but they still sell them, and it's that kind of thing.
Nice.
There's like a lot of restrictions on these knives, but I used it as a letter opener. And then when my mom came and we were going around to all the spots around the city, I had to take her to this knife shop, and I think we went 3 times because she kept wanting to go back and buy more. So I opened this on Christmas Day. Last Christmas, she had bought this.
What is that?
This little bonsai snipper gardening shears.
Oh.
Do you
Gardening
have a
shears.
bonsai tree?
No, but if I do, if I ever do, I'll be able
You'll
to
be
use
ready.
these.
I had one, but he died.
Yeah.
Sad story.
So it's
also
stuff
bought
like
one. I
this.
left it at, like, a
I'll
hotel.
say this to our viewers and our listeners. It's stuff like this, like establishing a good rapport with like a local businessman. That's what the JET program's all about. They want you to be involved in the community, okay? They want you to just patronize these stores.
Knives.
Buy the goods, bring them back, maybe bring your mom so she can fall in love with these knives and fall in love with the little program that you got, and spread the Japanese culture and bring it home, and build that rapport, build that grassroots
Honestly.
internationalization.
Cross-cultural, I can't speak.
Communication
That.
across the nation.
Across the world.
We bring the patronization.
There was some cool shops in the downtown like area though, the little block.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I remember one it was my
Mama
first.
Goose,
Mother Goose.
Oh, that was like a cafe.
best waffles
yeah.
ever.
They were good.
They're good.
There was what's the little puppet day with like the family of puppets?
Dolls?
There's like the little family of dolls. There's
What's
like
it called? Doll Day?
Oh, that
I don't know.
holiday.
There's some
Where
there's
they-
some like
where they set
doll
the puppets
holiday.
What's it
up.
called?
Yeah.
We're so washed.
I don't remember, but for that day,
I'm gonna look it up.
it's not like a national holiday. Like you have to still go to
it
school
is.
and everything. No. I was in school, and my teachers, like we didn't have that much going on, and the vice principal actually told one of the English teachers, "Hey, go take Quinn and Ike downtown and like walk around with them, basically, just like have fun."
Hinamatsuri,
Hinamatsuri, the Hina dolls. Yeah.
Dolls Day or Girls Day.
Yeah.
On March 3rd.
March
Go
3rd.
girls.
And so it was fun. And so I had one of my English teachers actually take me and Quinn like downtown, and all of the shops basically have like these little dolls set up, and some are selling them, some are just like have their own set basically.
That's
But
cool. I never
we got
see
to
that.
walk around, and the hard thing was because if you didn't go like during the work hours, everything
would-
closes,
yeah.
right? So
Sad part.
same thing as the post office. The post office closes at 5, sometimes
Not the
4.
one downtown. She closed at 7 p.m.
That's
You just had
nice.
You just had to go on the map and click on the right one.
Facts.
That one's nice. But most
Delivering
services,
them
like
every day.
banks, close as well at 5.
Or
like,
before.
Same as, I mean, it's usually the same in the
Well, we got
US, I
out
guess, as
early.
well. But like,
We got out like 4.
I got out at like 4:15. You know,
3:30 every day. I was out the
so.
door.
Wow.
What?
But it was hard to like go to some of those cooler places during the day. Like you'd have to go on the weekend, I feel like. But it was a fun experience for sure. We had so many horror stories at the post office.
We can't talk about the post office. We've had
No,
like,
I have one more I haven't shared.
no. What is
It's
it?
okay. I don't have to.
No, what is it?
After
Oh,
Korea,
not ocean.
no, after Korea, my mom asked me to get her a bunch of like Korean facial products.
Uh-huh.
And so
While we were in Korea.
while we were in Korea, and so I got a bunch of like, cool stuff, brought it back to Japan. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna send it to her. I'm gonna mail it to her. I go to the post office to mail these Korean various skin products, whatever. There's a few laws about this. One is the size of the liquid, which is understandable. The other one is like a certain percentage of alcohol is allowed in these products.
that they can mail.
And so it's like, oh, it can't have more than 30% alcohol or something, let's just say.
I agree to that.
For the life of me, one, the ingredients are in Korean on the back. But 2, even going to their website, even looking it up, I cannot prove that there is less than 30% alcohol in these containers.
Say it.
I cannot prove it.
Did they want you to
Somewhere.
prove it?
They
did.
needed me to prove it.
Oh.
Like, he could still
Because
send it.
you have to give an itemized list of everything you put in your package.
Yeah, but remember, you could still technically send it, but if it gets open and they discover
No, they told me I couldn't.
that it is... Are you sure?
They told me they would not let me send it.
Oh, I thought
What I
they
could
would,
have
and then it
done-
would get sent back.
So no, what I could have done is I could have closed the box
Yeah.
Could've
and
lied.
just sent it.
Yeah.
But I showed up not having all the labels
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
And so the box is open, and so they start sorting through it.
Well, the thing is, you can't print the label until you get there. You can
Mm-hmm.
make the label, and then they print it when you get there.
You
But
can
my box should have been sealed.
you
Yeah,
can print
my
it
box
on
should
your
have been
end.
Sealed, though.
You can print it on your end.
Oh, it's
and then bring it.
paying.
But you can't pay.
Yeah.
We are
That's right.
operating
My
in
bad.
Japan. We are operating on the assumption that you are a reasonable actor and you are following the law completely, and you will not send any lotion that has more than 30% alcohol content. But
If I had just closed, the package,
if you close the box,
but I
fine.
didn't close the box, and so they're sorting through it. And of course, they did the
Yeah.
thing where they had to call
Like, what
six.
is this?
They had to call 6 other managers, and everyone's grouped around the box, sorting through the ingredients.
every
And
post office story
Korean.
is the same.
in Korean. It's all the same. And they basically at the end they're like, "Well, you can't really send it." And I'm like,
Many situations are similar.
so
I tried
yeah.
to send
Every
a box
time
of
Ike
candy
went, it was
home to my
bad.
parents
yeah,
for 6 months, and I gave up.
it was
not
awful.
worth it.
What
The
was in
wasabi, I had a thing of wasabi. The wasabi expired before I was able to send the box because I was too dumb to figure it
Wow.
out.
I hated the
You were
post
too
office.
dumb and
They were
just-
very nice people that were trying to help, but their practices and systems were awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
They were
critical
awful.
thinking sometimes.
That too.
Well,
They
that
were
goes
trying,
both ways.
But... yeah.
I was trying to send letters inside of a box, which apparently is mail fraud.
That's
mail
very
fraud.
illegal. That's
can't do
very
that.
illegal.
I sent a birthday card.
Yeah, but you are not
They didn't
allowed
notice.
to say that it is a birthday card.
Oh, I think I wrote birthday card.
I think you can send one birthday
If it's a
card in the
note,
box.
if it's a note, that's okay. But if it's another letter,
Oh,
they will stop
I don't
you.
know, but I know I did it.
As I got stuck.
it
I
was
cannot
just
keep
like a
talking
note.
about the post office.
was
It makes me
open.
too mad. We have to
But
change
it
the
was
subject.
open.
yeah.
Wait, no, let me just say it was an open note. I
Okay,
didn't seal it or anything. It was an open note
I believe you.
that just said "Happy Birthday."
But
I
did
believe
the post
you.
office believe you?
Yeah, because I saw it and it was open.
I'm sure that's fine.
It was fine.
I was sending
It
12.
was fine, clearly, because they.
I was
it.
sending 12 unstamped letters for my parents to send, put stamps on to bypass the cost it would take for me to send internationally.
His is much worse.
Oh yeah, that's not what I was doing.
Anyway, does anyone have any other fun random interactions, maybe on the street or I saw a sumo guy on the street of our town. I think
That's
I told
cool.
this
I
on
saw
the pod
giant
before.
horses around the Myokinsai
Well, yeah, there's that.
on the street during the day,
Um,
and half naked men.
Did you
marching
talk to
around.
them? The
No,
horses?
but Bethany and I followed them around a bit.
Oh.
I think it was Bethany. We followed them around, but they didn't talk to us.
let's see.
One time I had some random person knock on my door at my apartment.
Uh-huh.
I answer it because I'm like, I don't know who it is. And she was shocked. She clearly did not expect a foreigner to, answer the door. And I was like, oh, hello, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, I'm starting an English school. She's like, do you have children? I was like, no. And she's like, do you know anyone who has children? I was like, no. And then she's goes on to say how she's starting an English school. This is all in Japanese. This is not even in English. So, I mean,
Wow.
at least she didn't assume I just spoke English. I don't know if that's
It's just kind of ironic that she's asking you about.
Yeah, and it was
if-
she was very shocked and didn't know how to proceed with the conversation, but she kept going through her little dialogue she had planned. But she didn't know what to think, I could tell. She was very frazzled.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I was like, no, I don't have any children. I'm by myself. I don't know. I'm I'm an English teacher. okay. And then she was like, do you know anyone else in this building who might have children? I was like, no.
But the funny thing
that was
about your
weird.
building is was there 8 total rooms?
No, there were 6.
Only 6 total rooms, and 4 of them were foreigner rooms.
Yeah.
So there was
The
only
people on the second floor were Japanese.
there was only
but everyone
2
else was-
Japanese rooms out of
Yeah.
the 6, which was kind of funny.
That is funny.
But
yeah.
I mean,
Shit on the
Matthew and I's
top.
apartment
They were
was
big though.
was all teachers around us as well,
Yeah,
but
'cause it
I
was
didn't speak to any of them.
Prefectural housing.
Yeah, we never saw them.
I was
I didn't
surprised,
speak
like,
to any of them.
dude, I didn't know that there was like a full-fledged family living on our building until like a year into the program. Did you know that at all?
I saw them sometimes reverse because
Yeah.
they would pull all the way in their like minivan.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like sometimes I'd see like the kids get in the minivan and then like
Mm-hmm.
reverse all the way out.
I didn't.
I had a family living in my apartment.
I didn't see that
then
until
they
a
moved
year.
out.
I never talked to them.
No, I waved when I did.
But yeah.
Um,
Apparently my
They had a cute little kid that was. I was like,
what's the person called that was there before you? Predecessor.
Yeah.
My predecessor apparently had the family apartment in our complex though.
probably nice.
And so his rent was a lot more expensive. So he had like an extra room and like a bigger like kitchen, I think. But his rent was a lot more expensive, so he didn't want it basically. And then after he moved out, they I think gave it to probably that Japanese family, and then instead I got like a normal sized room, but it
was still
got
pretty
rotated
big.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst thing about your apartment was your kitchen.
The kitchen was small.
The
Kitchen was
kitchen
bad.
in your guys' apartment, it was like small and just all metal and.
yeah.
I didn't even realize a lot of the features it had. I didn't know there was cupboards above it, like
That's-
above the drying racks.
Yeah.
I
that's
never
very
noticed those
strange.
cupboards until like
They
a
were right
year.
there.
They're hard to get up there.
And I also didn't see a closet for more than a year because every time the door I would leave open and the door perfectly covered the
Doors didn't
closet.
make any
Yeah.
sense.
The door perfectly covered the closet door. So the only way I would see the closet door is if I actually closed the other door.
Was it the bedroom door?
Yeah. It was the bedroom door. And so
It wasn't a very big closet.
I never saw that closet for like a year.
That's
And then
where you
someone
put all your excess
saw
anime
it.
figurines, right?
I
I-
put all the
I
boxes in
didn't
there.
have
And then you're
any
right.
Stuff.
You're right.
You didn't have any stuff.
But I had a junk closet too.
But you didn't have any stuff.
My closet was
Oh, your closet was trashed.
I would throw all my trash in that. Not like actual trash,
Yeah.
Just like random
but like
stuff.
random trinkets and like
Yeah.
random stuff that I should have just thrown away. I would instead
Yeah.
throw in the closet.
You gotta at least.
I had to
go through
clean it like twice while I was there, and both times it was filled with stuff.
I wish we could show the layout of our apartments. It was like you
I
walk
could do a
in.
good drawing.
You would do a bad drawing.
think
You
it-
walk in.
Oh, my
there's
drawing
the-
would be so good.
It would be terrible. You walk in. There's the Genkan. You take your shoes off, and then, boom,
Can I do it?
Square,
can I do a
2 by
paint-
2.
MS Paint.
bathroom
now?
right in front of you. To the left is the washroom area, and then even further back is the shower area. You take a right, living room. You take a step, you take another right, bedroom. You go back in the living room. You take a left, small shotgun kitchen. But we did have a balcony.
Endalea. That's what it.
You were trying to think of Endalea, the coffee shop?
I couldn't remember the name.
They were great.
I was trying to find if I had a video of my apartment at all.
Oh, I have such a good drawing, Matthew.
I have a picture from my apartment. That's it.
Okay, send it to me and I'll put it in the
Okay.
episode.
That?
But it's going to be hard without me explaining it, you know?
Okay. Well, yeah. Let me pull it up on my end on my phone, and then
Did I really
You
do
can
it?
If I just
explain it.
share my screen, can I do that or not?
no.
I just deleted that video.
Okay. That's all right then. We'll,
Take a,
we'll save it for another
Well, take
time.
a screenshot and then send it.
That's a lot of work. I have to transfer
Okay.
it to my phone, and then I don't have a Mac, you know?
Oh, true. Well,
But
I'm using a Mac when I should be using a PC.
But I don't think I really talked with that many other people. I mean, a lot of people in the bars, a lot of people at the
Yeah.
restaurants.
I mean, I have so many
Gym.
other random encounters and things like that I can pull from. Like seeing students like illegally working a part-time job at the Burger King. It was so funny when the Burger King opened, dude. It
We
was like,
weren't even there for the
weren't
Burger
there.
King.
It was like
That's so depressing.
it was everyone in town
I bet
was,
it was
a
good.
buzz. It like it was a new dawn.
It was the same with the Yoshinoya though, because when the Yoshinoya
there, though.
opened, the amount of workers and the amount of people going was insane. There was like 30 kitchen staff in this tiny little kitchen, and then not even like 2 weeks pass, and they're down to like 2 workers.
Very
like,
funny.
and then they were understaffed. They went from like the most overstaffed operation to like understaffed.
The Burger King in the mall was crazy because I'd have like JTEs talking to the students like every day, like, have you tried the new Burger King? And everyone's like, oh, how am I gonna dick cut? And like, because the burgers are really big in Japanese Burger King compared to all the other hamburgers. But anyway, I went there like my first time. It was crazy. I think I explained it on a previous episode, but I wasn't able to eat my first time going there because
the
Quinn
food
was
tier
late.
list.
Because Quinn
The
was
food
late
tier list.
on the food tier list episode, yeah.
you
But
couldn't-
the first
you
time I
couldn't
actually ate at Burger King, I saw a student of mine, one that Steven, who was on the pod a few episodes ago, Steven had her in middle school, and then she was one of my students at that point currently. So she came over and talked to us. A year later, she's doing an illegal part-time job because she's, you need to be a certain age to do it in high school. And she was like a year younger than she should be. And she was working at the Burger King. And I'm like, you shouldn't be here. And she's like, Himitsu arubaito. It's a secret part-time job. And I'm like,
they can just lie.
Get
about
that bag.
their age and it's fine.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. Like, what do
I
you
don't
need? Like
know.
I feel like Japan, you need like an ID or something, like a
To
show.
work.
Do they
I don't know.
not?
well, no, you usually need your school to sign off on like the job, like for the employer. It goes both ways. You need like an employer and school partnership little agreement. Like, okay, this kid is going to work, and then this kid is also going to do their schoolwork, and it's not going to be a problem for them. They can make a little extra money, but they're not going to be. They're still going to focus on their schoolwork. But this was during the summer.
Okay. Well, I remember
Not the
like
worst.
anytime we went to, because my apartment was like near like 3 of my schools. And so all the fast food places were all like down the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I went to my local Korean fried chicken or McDonald's, I was like the local unicorn. Like they would see me and there'd be
Of
like
course.
30 like boys going by on their bicycles. And they're like they come up to the window and be like tapping on the window. I'm like,
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
yeah, like hello.
Sam, you reminded
like
me of
an
a
aquarium.
crazy story. I don't know if maybe one of you two were in the car, but I
Yeah.
was in the McDonald's line. It was like 8:00 at night. It's packed. Kids. in
I
the
know what you're
McDonald's-
gonna say.
Yeah,
Were
you
in
remember
the
this?
car?
I know what you're gonna say.
We're lined up in the drive-through. It's back out to the street, but by the time we get into the parking lot, approaching the McDonald's, the drive-through. God, we're so fat. We love that place so much. We see
It's much better.
we see these 3 kids standing immediately outside the very front of the McDonald's restaurant. Okay,
Yeah.
and we know they're kids because they're wearing their high school's uniform,
They looked so young,
and they
too.
looked so young. 2 of those kids were pressuring the third one to smoke a cigarette.
and they were smoking.
They were
Wait,
smoking.
was I?
I don't know if you were.
I
I
feel
can't
like-
remember. But
maybe
the
saw
funniest part about this story
Yeah.
is they don't stay there for very long. They leave
Mm-hmm.
about 2
Because
or
someone
3
calls the
minutes
cops on
later.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a police
Yeah.
car pulls into the
Yeah, okay, I was definitely
McDonald's
there.
parking
We were
lot.
probably with you, Matthew.
They get out of the car. They're like flashing their like flashlights.
They're looking in
around.
our car.
They look in our car, like flash us down or whatever. They don't say anything, but they keep looking
Mm-hmm.
around, and they're like searching for these kids that had gotten like reported, basically.
Yeah.
yeah, why are
For
you
smoking.
smoking outside the McDonald's? Like,
Yeah.
what
It's
the-
such a small town. It's like so stupid. It's such a small town. People know where you go
Yeah.
to school. They see your uniform. That's part of the reason why Japanese schools have uniforms
In
because
front of
it's
a
like
McDonald's.
it's like a social contract with the kid. You're going to go to this institution. You have to wear your uniform like a lot in and outside of
Yeah.
school when you're going to and from like practices and things like that to show the rest of the community, hey, you are a high schooler. This is your job. or you're a middle schooler or whatever kind of schooler. But it's like your status in the community. That's what it shows it is your high school uniform. And to just openly, do something that's illegal, which is smoking before the age of 20.
Yeah.
In a McDonald's parking lot.
In probably
They
the
were not
busiest place in town.
Yeah. They were so like conspicuous.
So dumb.
So dumb.
We should have like rolled down the window and like, are you guys dumb?
We should have. That's like a
You're literally gonna get the cops called on you.
that's like a social. Like, what if we were being punked, and they're like Japanese punked? It's like, does this group of foreigners say something when these Japanese students are breaking the law?
We didn't know who
It's
they were.
their job, isn't it, to uphold the standards of the community?
We're not legally a teacher there, so
We still have the not the right, but the we should still uphold the standards of the community, Sam. Come on.
But we don't know who they are.
It doesn't matter.
Is it wrong that I was kind of happy like the 3 times I got to privately teach like a class
Of
Like
like
myself?
adults?
Yeah, no, in my high school.
Oh,
Like,
without
sure
the teacher.
everyone-
Because I
was.
think you're supposed to always like have a teacher at least in the
Yeah.
room.
But if they walk out, they're like, play a
But-
game. It's not the same thing.
No, but a few times like a teacher would get sick like right before the class or like just couldn't show up or something, and they would ask me like if I could do it, and I was like yeah, and so there was like 2 or 3 times only that I got to just fully teach a class, like just me, and it was really fun.
But
Yeah.
that gets tiring if you do it all the time.
Oh, of course, but like
It is.
I
fun.
wish it happened more often though.
I
That's what I'll say.
I had to do that not quite often, but more often than I expected to. I not only like through what is it, speaking tests, where like you go in the other room and it's like an interview test. So the kids like line up and go in there, go out, go in there, go out, go in there, go out.
Yeah.
It's like a revolving door, and I ask the same questions. But like just kind of having complete control of the classroom. It is fun.
That would be nice.
As a substitute
Do what you
teacher, I'm doing exactly that.
And do you enjoy it?
I do. I think it's fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Good mashu no arubaito.
Himitsu arubaito.
My part-time job, but it's not a secret.
My not so secret part-time job.
Does anyone have any final stories to wrap up?
I'm looking at our list of ideas.
Don't break this.
Yeah, we're not supposed to say we have a list.
I'm not looking at a list, just this list.
We
but-
brainstorm. I looked like twice. Okay. I am not a regular on this podcast. I'm a guest. I can do what I want.
I will say we came up with a lot of things that I didn't expect to come up with.
Yeah.
It's all about the friends you made along
That's
the way.
why you don't
That's
think
the real
about it
One
and you just
Piece.
let it go.
That's the real one.
It ain't about the
Piece.
money. We don't need the money. We're trying to make the world change. Forget about the what?
Yeah. Anyway.
Price tag?
What? Ike and I don't listen to music.
You listen to K-pop.
No. Sometimes.
Get back to those
And I just listen
bulletproof
to
Boy Scouts
J-pop.
or whatever.
They're coming back this year
Are they?
from their mandatory military service.
Oh, no way. Are they going to be hardened? Like they saw the horrors of war and now their
didn't.
songs
They
are
just
about
went
like
through training,
saving their brothers on the battlefield.
He never saw any combat. They're
That would be
fine.
awesome.
They shot combat. They're
We'll
like
see. It won't be, but we'll see.
BTS. They're dancing to a song about like doing field dressings on a guy who's like got his leg cut up and stuff. Take me to that concert. Give me light show to that.
They have a little light stick.
And
Perhaps.
they're gonna they will be the bulletproof. Did they get shot at?
Were
I
they
don't
bulletproof?
know what happens.
Were they bulletproof?
It is a metaphor
BTS.
for something.
What is it in Korean?
방탄소년단. Something
That's kind of sick.
Be-
Wow, that was cool.
Bantangsoyeongdang.
oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyways, I don't know. But the BTS concert, very fun. One of the only concerts I've been to, but very
Japanese
fun.
related.
I'm just saying,
Hey,
That's
but
illegal.
Matthew
Yeah.
breached this conversation.
I did. I think us talking about
the kids really like this common component. I was like, do you guys like BTS? And like the older kids were like, not really, because they thought it was lame. But all the younger kids were like, I love them.
So many kids in my school loved K-pop. Like,
but the middle
everyone
schoolers
loved
were
K-pop.
embarrassed to like admit it.
High schoolers
love K-pop. They had the little pictures on their backpacks of like,
this
is Jungkook.
I had a little brat girl in 6th grade, and she like never paid attention, and she was like, I want to be K-pop idol. I was like, it's gonna be really hard.
There were two factions at the high school.
I did a K-pop
some
dance.
Little child. I was like, that's gonna be really hard.
I did a K-pop dance in front of the entire school.
There was the K-pop kids and then like the reggae kids, because like Japanese reggae was weirdly popular.
Is nobody gonna ask
never heard
me?
That. You did not, don't worry.
Wait, what?
did.
What K-pop?
I did a K-pop dance in front of the entire school.
I don't care. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Deskwarmers Podcast.
You're just gonna end it like that?
It's fine. I practiced in the hidden room in our school. It was some boys group. I don't remember the song. It was some like boys group dance, and I was mirroring the dances to get it correct in a hidden room in the school to practice like an hour before, because I did not practice prior to that. And I had known about this for like 2 weeks, and I didn't practice until like an hour before. And then I wasn't on stage, so I was not on stage, but I was in front of the stage as like an extra, basically. And as an extra, I did the dance in the front, and
is there a video?
Everyone cheered, and it was great. And
please remember to leave a like, comment, and if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you want to join the Discord to have a more in-depth conversation, ask us questions, things like that, we're there. You can find that.
Someone please ask me questions
in the description.
They're really desperate for some questions.
No, I'm desperate.
Ike just wants to talk about his
K-pop
boy band days.
Any of the guests who come on, you can ask them questions.
Yes. True.
Yeah.
They might come back to answer them.
It was a pleasure, though.
It was a pleasure.
Fun time as always.
We're signing off. Peace out. 안녕하세요.
안녕.